All right. Well, yeah, I don't know what kind of intro to make here.
What's up, gamers? It's your boy Droloric here.
Damn, why don't you just say it?
What's up, gamers? It's Droloric here. I've been
Oh my
wondering
god.
since season 4. And last night, I finally hit Celestial with a 60% win rate, so we're going to do a VOD review of my rank up game.
Well, I'm just gonna use that audio. All right, welcome back to Marvel Rivals. If you've been following me on Twitch, you know I've been trying to reach Celestial this season, and I wasn't streaming when I hit it, but I did in fact hit Celestial last night with a 60% win rate this season. I think this is a really good Jeff season. I think this is a really strong Jeff season because of the Hawkeye nerfs, because of the Hela nerfs, and oddly enough, because of the Cloak and Dagger buffs, banning her has been not so crazy, and Cloak and Dagger is obviously the biggest Jeff counter in my opinion. So we're going to do a VOD review of the game in question here. So this is the game where we won and I got MVP and I ranked up to Celestial. So before we start the VOD review, I just want to go over some statistics from this page. Now, a lot of these statistics can be a little misleading, but I also do think that they are informative if you know how to look at them. So let's take a moment to break down what we're looking at here and see if we can make some predictions about the VOD that we're going to watch. So you don't need to put this into a spreadsheet, but I put it into a spreadsheet. So this is all the information copied straight from the game. Looking at my stats in particular, I have the second lowest deaths, I have the most healing, I have a significant amount of finals, and I have the most KOs. That leads to me to the conclusion that I think that I played a very good positional game, having the lowest damage blocked almost in the lobby except for Rocket. So I think Rocket and I both played a very good positional game. The high final count and high KO count means that I was putting damage down on the other team. I was being aggressive with damage. And the high healing means that I was succeeding in healing our team. The fact that we have a much lower healing deficit means that overall our team was better able to absorb damage and not die from it, whereas their team was more often likely to die from taking damage. You can also see that reflected with the damage per kill stat. Our team, on average, spent less damage to get a pick than their team, and on average, our team had more players targeting down players for a pick than the other team. So we overall had less damage on target to get picks and more players targeting to get picks, which means we overall had more bursty damage, I think. I think my target prioritization is very good considering I have a credit for over half of the KOs on the other team, which means more than 60% of the deaths that the other team took, I got a credit for a KO. And that's also true of Moon Knight, which leads me to the conclusion that Moon Knight was in a similar boat where he may not have been, Moon Knight doesn't exactly necessarily target prioritized, but he has a crap ton of damage, which means I think the credit on kill is more indicative of the fact that he just was the damage dealer of the team. He was responsible for pumping damage, and that's what he did. And a few other things I wanted to point out here is even though our stats across the board are better, there's always the argument of, are they better because we're winning, or are we winning because they're better? And the correlation and causation are not very clear for a lot of these statistics, so take this all with a grain of salt as well. To be honest, I got a little carried away with this section of the video, so if you're interested in more statistics, then there'll be a 14-minute version of this spreadsheet section linked in the description. But for now, let's move on to the actual VOD. Let's talk about the ban phase for a quick second. We end up banning Phoenix. So they banned Gambit first, which had us a little concerned that they were going to have an Elsa, because we've been noticing a pattern where everyone's been banning Elsa first and then Gambit. So the fact that they banned Gambit first made us think that they had an Elsa, which is why we end up double banning Elsa here. So as Jeff, I'm always trying to line up the opponents with my team, so that as I can beam through my team healing them, I can also deal damage to the other team. This spot back here is one of my favorite spots on the map. You can slide right back here as Jeff, and you have a beautiful view straight down main, and you can take cover super easily right here, as you can see. I am pushed up a little bit further than that right now, and I probably shouldn't be, but I'm trying to play a little bit aggressive, and I'm also trying to be wary of divers, because this spot is actually really bad for me with certain types of dive. Because, for example, like a Spider-Man will most often try to go for the pull over here. And then when he comes back, he can see me right here. And if he comes into this little corner and pulls me back behind this cover, then I won't be able to get healed from my invis. So I have to play a little bit more out in the open so that if we get an early dive, then we can pat a cake out of it. So as you can see, their Groot is doing a good job of walling them off. He's got 2 walls in the way here. And we've been calling out, or I've been calling out to the tanks that they're being walled off. But unfortunately, it does not save our Strange on this instance. One thing I'd like to point out quickly is that Jeff is actually really good at taking out Scroll Stampedes, and it's really important to take them out. If you have a character that's able to take out Scroll Stampede, just shoot it down. It's so much easier, and so often people just get, like, killed by a Scroll Stampede. Let's just go back here and rewatch this fight. Our Hawkeye and Moon Knight are building ult insanely fast in this first fight. It's actually shocking that I haven't got an ult yet. Thanks to that Moon Knight ult, Cloak went out of position, and then she got punished for it, and then our Hawkeye ults immediately afterward. Their Cloak gets revived by Rocket, but it doesn't matter because we still managed to walk forward with the Hawkeye ult. As you can see, I'm pushing up with the team and being aggressive here, pushing up way past the cart, because I know if we get these picks, then we get to walk the cart quite a bit further. Now, I believe we're being dove. Yeah, we got dove by Invis, which is pretty funny. Hold on, let's roll back. Let's look at this dive by Invis. So Invis is invisible. I think I heard her walking around, but I wasn't sure. So I went up there to look for her, and she actually dove our Invis and tried to get the pick. This is a great moment for me, low-key. So let's go back to my perspective here. So as you can see, they tried to get the jump on our Invis, but I was there to pat a cake and to help out. They portal in, and when they portal in here, we're kind of in a bad spot because this portal has kind of separated me and Invis and Moon Knight. Is that Moon Knight? No, that's Strange. From the rest of our team. So obviously we were not expecting this portal to come in so early, or else we would have been positioned like this. But when this kind of thing happens, and I'm being portaled straight on top of, I often will just try to hit my ult here because worst case scenario, I'll get out of this alive, and often when it gets really complex like this is where I tend to die because there's just too much damage going on and I can't self-heal out of it. I also know that if the Cloak does go through the portal, she might fade like almost immediately, or she might not go through the portal at all and try to stay outside the portal and just fire in. So knowing the Cloak either might have burned her fade immediately or might not even go through the portal at all, I decide to go for an ult just immediately right off rip here. I don't want to dilly-dally, waste time. So I go straight for the ult. I actually start clicking the ult before Groot drops it, but either way, it doesn't matter because I'm in the same zone. I end up eating 4 people here. So I got Emma, Cloak, Strange, and Groot. I don't even know how I got Cloak. Let's go to Cloak's perspective. What was Cloak doing here? Yeah, she just didn't hear it because she wasn't through the portal in time. But I ended up getting her anyway. Rocket drops the amplifier, but it doesn't matter because I've eaten his entire team. I just killed Invis, and I just ate 4, which means literally the only person left is Rocket. So I just spit out my teammates right here. I go over here, and now I'm just killing some time before I jump. So that's 4 people down the pit. That leaves our Invis alone on point. And our Invis actually told me as well that they were about to ult here. So I actually saved our Invis ult. Let's just back up a little bit. So actually, you can see it when I slow the time down that our Invis is about to ult for that situation. And I saved our Invis ult by eating her. So this is a rare teammate eating W. Not only did I save a bunch of people, including Invis, from the Groot ult, but I also got a 4 KO. So that was honestly kind of a clip. Not gonna lie. So as I just jumped off right there, that's gonna count for one of the quote-unquote missing finals in our statistics, because I just died and did not give the other team a final. Now I actually do a lot of damage to walls as well. So in addition to trying to heal down main, I am trying to take out walls when possible. So unfortunately we are losing this team fight. So I go for a bit of a risky play and try to take out the Invis. Now the reason I'm trying to go for a risky play like this is that my ult builds much faster than most other ults in the game. So it's not worth holding a lot of the time. And seeing that our team is already down in the team fight, and we've already lost the team fight. Oftentimes, players will literally just walk out into the open and let themselves be killed so that they can get back to the spawn room faster. Now, I probably could have cycled back around and rejoined the team fight, but our Star-Lord is still dead for another 4 seconds. So we would have had at least a 10-second delay until we rejoin the team fight anyways. And if I manage to pull this off, then when we go back into the team fight in 10 seconds, they will be down to support. If I manage to eat Invis here and then walk her off the edge, when we come back into the team fight, we're coming from my spawn room and I'm much faster than Invis. So I will be in the fight almost immediately, whereas Invis will have to walk all the way back. If I get a pick like this, we will be walking in the next fight up a support, which is incredibly huge value for the team. Obviously, that doesn't happen here. But the downside of this is I lost my ult and didn't get staggered that badly, in all honesty, because oftentimes in this situation, you just kill yourself anyways just to get back to spawn faster. With that in mind, not only do I succeed in being sent back to spawn relatively quickly, but I did almost get the invis there. I think what I could have done to make that a little better is I could have eaten much closer to the edge here. If I had eaten over in this zone, maybe, then maybe I still would have got her. But Groot does a really good job of walling me off right there. Actually, I want to see it from Groot's perspective, because that was a really good job by Groot here. Yeah, honestly, that was impressive. That was impressive. So it's kind of unfortunate that our team's walking in here. I don't think they should be walking in here. We don't really have the support to back them up. But as you can see, I just spawned, and honestly didn't get that badly staggered. And now we're back into the fight. So a play like that obviously isn't ideal. I mean, it would have been better if I got invis. It would have been better if I didn't die. It would have been better if I kept alt. But going for a play like that is high risk, high reward. Or in this case, medium risk, high reward. If I had succeeded on that play, we would have been walking into this fight 5v6 with invis, walking back from spawn. And if I fail in that endeavor, then it's not that big a detriment to our team. So that's why I'm able to go for risky plays like that. So, we have a Groot as well as they do, and I misunderstood what was happening with this Groot. I thought for some reason that was our Groot, and so I shot an Aqua Burst at him before realizing. So you can see on plays like this, while I am healing, I'm also trying to aim through our own team to put damage on opponents. So you can see I'm actually dealing a bit of damage to this Iron Man and friends back here. And especially with the Groot ult, I'm getting in there, and I did in fact get credit for all of those KOs as well. Every bit of damage counts. So I'm pushing up really aggressively here because they portaled last time, and I'm slightly concerned that they might try to portal again. So I'm pushed up really aggressively, and what I'm doing right now is I'm literally listening for a portal. So because they portaled in so quickly on first point, I'm thinking that they're probably going to portal into second point as well. So I'm going to sit right here, and I'm going to listen for the portal. If I hear the portal, then what I can do is I can zip around this wall, potentially even climbing up it, or just up the staircase, and then I can hit an Aqua Burst down this tunnel and almost certainly cancel the portal. However, they don't end up portaling, and what happens instead, I think, is even funnier. And sometimes what I also like to do on Jeff is if I can get behind the enemy team, so actually this is a great spot for it, where I can sit all the way back over here, and I can heal point from back here on this angle. I'm not talking about on defense, I'm talking about on offense. Because when I'm back here healing on point, I can heal my team just as effectively as if I was in our own backline. The only difference is that their healers, especially if they have an Invis or a Luna, are likely going to be standing in this zone here. And not only do they have to heal their teammates, but they also have to keep healing themselves because I'm dealing chip damage to them from behind them. And that's the position I want to put them in, is where if they turn to try to fight me or fend me off, then their front line collapses, and if they just let me sit there, then I just keep dealing chip damage to them. So it's a win-win for me. So as you can see, I'm sitting here waiting for the portal. The portal isn't coming. And so my next idea is to try to play very aggressive. So I'm just hoping our Star-Lord doesn't die here, and I'm just letting them walk past me. Once this wall goes up, this is my cue. Once the wall goes up, I know that not only are they cut off from healing their team, but if I now take some attention from them, then they also will not be able to heal their team. So what I'm doing right here is I'm jumping this rocket. So we're going to Aqua Burst our 3 Aqua Bursts, and I immediately get peeled by this Punisher, who I assume is actually coming back here for the... let's have a look what he's up to. Or he's just there. But immediately I got start getting shot by Punisher, and I don't mess with Punishers because the shotgun is very deadly, and even the primary fire is very deadly if he hits headshots. So I don't mess with that, but I do get the heck out. So at this point, though, Cloak and Rocket have both not been healing this whole time. So you can see Groot is walking up. Rocket sees me, does the double take, immediately tries to shoot me. But of course, by the time he gets back to the front line, Groot is already dead. So I may not have contributed to that kill, but by distracting the supports on that push, I was able to make sure that Groot died. This is some tech right here as well, actually, but I actually missed it. But I'll tell you guys anyway. If I hit a Aqua Burst on an Iron Man when he's maximum pulsing, I actually knock him out of the sky, which can throw off his aim. And Iron Mans love to go to this particular spot to maximum pulse on the point. And I found that on this spot, if I hit them with the Aqua Burst, they almost always hit this ledge that I'm standing on right here. I actually do get the kill on Venom. I didn't even realize, but I actually get the kill on Venom after that dive, too. That's pretty good. But I can see he's coming in for it already. So I try to hit one Aqua Burst on him, miss, and then go for the second one. But it's too late at that point. I also didn't have any Aqua Bursts saved up, but it's fine. My teammates covered for me. It's all good. I'm trying to play far enough back to stay on cart, but they're pushing up quite far, so I'm going to join them. I have ult at this point, but I don't want to use it right away.
Judge, jury, execution.
This is our shield, by the way. Don't get confused by the colors. So they have a cloak out. I know I can counter cloaks, but I'm really bad at countering cloaks. Like, I just don't have the timing down. So I don't go for cloak here. Instead, I go for Strange and Emma. And Emma actually gets diamond formed, but that's okay. So I go this way. Even though it's not as direct, I still have time to go this way, and by going into my own healing pool, I'm actually getting healed up as I get through. And then once again, I'm just killing time until I spit them down. So Doctor Strange can actually fly up there. I'm not sure why he didn't. But if he does, and I time it correctly, I can hit him with an Aqua Burst to put him back in. And just in general, it's almost always more worth it to spit than to swallow, as Jeff, as they say. In that situation, even though Doctor Strange could have survived, it's not worth the trade. It's just not worth the trade. Me for Doctor Strange is not worth the trade. I'm on dual support here, which means I need to take my own life much more seriously than a tank. And I'm lucky Doctor Strange didn't even attempt to fly there, but I wouldn't have been jumping either way. And now I'm just playing really far back. I always want to be playing behind our invis because our invis has much shorter range than me. So if I'm behind the invis, then I can make sure invis is fully healed. I'm very good at keeping myself fully healed, so I'm not worried about me. And if I take care of invis and I take care of myself, then that means both supports are being taken care of by me. And that's a very important Jeff tip, I think. So you can see here, even though people are low health, I know that these walls are not forever. So I'm pumping out as much damage as possible with my primary fire while also healing people. And as soon as I see that everyone's full health or more or less full health, I'm going to switch to Aqua Burst. And even though people are taking damage, I really just want to secure that pick. So we secure the pick, and we can keep pushing up here. And this is the same kind of situation. I'm playing extremely aggressive, trying to keep pressure on, keep damage going, keep getting picks. And then here, I'm able to get up on top of here. I'm just trying to reposition. And I managed to get 3. I think the wall being right there actually really helps. And I was about to jump off the ledge right there, considering that I had a Rocket Raccoon, along with 2 tanks. But the round ends. So on this setup, I actually completely forgot to put the bubbles down. I don't know why. But normally I put a triangle of 3 bubbles in this little hallway over here to start the game.
The battle starts in 5, 4,
You can't break this wall until the game starts,
2, 1.
unfortunately. As you can see, I am ready to go as soon as I can get it broken. So I'm back here because this is a really good angle for me. I mean, first of all, there's this weird cloth thing like blocking my view, but it's also blocking the view of me from the opponents. And I can heal all the way down this lane from back there, which is fantastic, as you can see right here. I can heal all the way down lane, and that is a fantastic spot for me to sit. At this point, I realized I forgot to set up my bubbles, so I just spit a couple over there, kind of willy-nilly. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Now, the reason I'm coming out of this spot, even though it is safer back there, is because I now realize that they have an Angela. I believe someone called it out in chat. And I'm actually really good against Angelas. And what I can do is I can Aqua Burst them to prevent them from being able to use their skewer. And so I'm coming out here to try and make sure I have an angle so that if Angela like swoops in from up here and takes out our Groot and Strange, then I can hit them with the Aqua Burst to release them from the skewer. So I know Angela's somewhere above me, but I'm just not looking at her because I need to focus on heals and Bane. So this team up, I think, is extremely underrated. Just as a dash. Straight up, I'm just using it as a dash here. As you can see, I dealt a bit of damage to Angela, and I can see Angela is, like, right on top of me here. Like, right on top of me. And that makes me very uncomfortable for several reasons, but my immediate response to that situation is to dash out, which is exactly what I did. And it turns out Angela doesn't actually care about me. She was just going for the health back, but I thought she was trying to dive me, so I just got to hang out. So I drop off, and then I reposition over here. And then, unfortunately, because of that shenanigan, I was not ready to hit the Aqua Burst here. You can see, just like with the nameplates, I just couldn't see her. Like, I just couldn't see her, so I couldn't aim. Like, even just in-game, I just, like, couldn't see her. It was just, like, a weird angle. She came through. Like, it got blocked by my, like, this thing. And I got blocked by my teammates here. I just didn't see her until it was too late. You see, I tried to hit the Aqua Burst, but it was way too late.
The moon haunts you.
So our Groot dies to the Moon Knight, unfortunately. So does our Bucky. But now, is this where we managed to pat a cake? No. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually trying to bait this Angela and potentially Emma over here because I have ult and I'm pretty sure they don't. And I'm pretty sure they're not expecting me to because this is the first ult of the game and I almost always get ult first in a game. So I'm trying to bait them over here so that I can hit my ult and just like throw them immediately off the map to my left here because there's a pit directly to the left here. I decided to jump in here to get a touch to try and let our portal happen. We succeed in that. And this is something that's really weird happens that I kind of want to actually see what the heck happens here. But I eat directly on point, but I don't eat on point because I don't want to collect a bunch of our teammates and then end up accidentally taking point away. Not to mention there's a Punisher turret on point, so if I do eat on point, I'll probably just get blown up by that. So instead I use my ability to get up here, and I eat their Mantis. Mantis is always a great pick to eat because Mantis does not have any way to prevent me from eating her. So we're going to eat this Mantis. We're going to go straight over to the edge. And I guess I got a little greedy here because I decided to spit before I had to, but I really wanted to turn back around and get back to point because I know we need support on point. So I spit this Mantis. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but this Mantis, I don't know what happens here. She just flies apparently. She did a double jump. Who knew? Like, just straight up, I couldn't even tell you what happens here. In all honesty, I think that there's an invisible wall, like, right here, for some dumb reason. I couldn't tell you why. I feel like that's an oversight on map design, but here we are. And I think somehow Mantis manages to bounce off of it, like, literally. Look at this. I don't know what that is. Honestly, I don't know what that is. But she ends up sleeping me, but doesn't end up getting the pick on me. I fight her for the upper ground, for the high ground, and I'm just going to take high ground here. I'm just trying to keep heals down main because I know we need heals on main. So earlier we talked about how I was getting very aggro in my positioning to put their supports in a position where they can't turn to fight me without losing the front line. And now their Angela is doing that exact same thing to me. So this Angela, even though I beat Angela in a 1v1 every day of the week, this Angela knows that I can't turn and look at her, or else the front line dies. And so she's just going to beat up on me while I am forced to essentially just try to play safe and run. So I'm going to drop down here. I'm going to try to hit her with an Aqua Burst, trying to scare her off. And then eventually I have to run to try to get this health pack. And I just end up rotating all the way around to see if I can get some heals on point. Unfortunately, we all die to the Punisher ult before I can do much. I thought our Invis was going to get a touch there. But no such luck. So we're just backing out of here. I was going to try to save Moon Knight there, but I had to think myself first. And unfortunately, this Angel is still after me. And so I just bail on that fight. Some people in this game, I believe, still haven't ulted a single time, and I'm almost up to my second ult. I don't think Angela, Strange, or Groot on the other team have ulted, and a couple people are sitting on their first ults right now. And I believe I am almost up to my second ult. So here I have ult, and I could go for it early here. And actually, they don't even have a cloak anymore, so I really could just go for it early. But they do have a Punisher and an Emma, so I don't want to mess with that too much. I cannot hit an Aqua Burst to save my life. So right there is an example of what I'm trying to do to this Angela to prevent her from stealing people. So let me go back a little bit. So let's go to this Angela and see what she's up to. So as you can see, she's trying to pull people off this ledge right here. So she's going to spear in. She's going to get this Groot. And you can see my Aqua Bursts are coming in. I didn't actually get her, I don't think, but you can see the idea is there. I'm trying to boop her out of it so she can't get Groot off the ledge. But my Aqua Bursts, which miss, do somehow just hit Moon Knight, and I get the kill. Even though my ult is expendable, and I would love to hit it right now, my life is not expendable. My life is way more important than my ult. Straight up. And right now, given that we're still in this team fight, and we still are 2-2 support, I need to just stay alive and focus up here. Now, Punisher tried to push me a little bit there. I swam away just to heal up, and now I'm back to try and fight him off. Again, though, I can't hit an Aqua Burst for my life. I do see Mantis over here sneaking around, so I'm going to see if I can cut her off. I kind of got messed up by the train there, though, and I decided to bail on that plan. I was hoping to maybe solo ult a Mantis right there, because that would have been good for us. So, as you can see, I'm just staying near cover, trying to aim straight down main, heal a bunch of people. Right here, I'm in the middle of this Moon Knight ult, and I suspect there's no getting out, so I just immediately ult. Like I said earlier, my life is way more important than my ult. If I can use my ult as an escape tool, I will. So this is a situation where I felt like I was about to die, and I just hit the button. We hit the escape button. I'm gonna come over here. I see a Mantis. I go for the Mantis and hope I get the rocket as well. I get both, and I immediately jump. Not before delaying a little bit, kill a little bit of time, and I jump. This was another great ult by me, to be honest. Not only did I get both supports, but I also saved myself from the Moon Knight ult. And I come back into the fight almost at the same speed as them, even though my spawn is so much farther. So you can see that I'm back in this fight almost at the same time as their supports, even though my spawn is a lot farther. Unfortunately, I get got by this Emma, and then the Punisher ult. We really need a touch here, and I believe we're not going to get one. So Angela's messing us up. Angela's doing the same. So Angela's just done the exact same thing that I did in first round, which is she's diving the supports so that I can't heal the front line. Our front line crumbles, and they get point. So I'm healing straight down main, and I'm also trying to get our invis out of trouble back there. Unfortunately, we're playing in that Moon Knight ult. It's really well-placed Moon Knight ult, to be fair, but not much we can do on that one. I'm backed up into a bit of a corner here, and Emma and Angela are both looking at me, so I realize I just need to get out of there. I would have liked to stay back there with invis on that angle, but because the Moon Knight is hitting us, I had to fail. I was trying to get maybe both supports again, but instead I'm just going to get Mantis. This Emma kind of came out of nowhere, but luckily I know other ways to get to the pit. Moon Knight also tried to get me, but it wasn't enough. Now I'm behind them. I'm going to try to get this pick on Emma because she's so low. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to, and then I get punished by Punisher for being in a bad position.
Cherish you.
I think what I should have done here is sneak my way into this gap back here. And I might have maybe should have focused on healing a little bit there too. I might have got a little caught up on trying to kill that Emma. But she was so one-shot, I thought it would have been quick. Again, can't hit an Aqua Burst for my life, but that's okay. Okay, we have the Punisher ult. I'm trying to heal through him so that he can just get out there. But unfortunately, he doesn't get out there. Unfortunately, me and Blaze Cat both die. And unfortunately, that is going to be the end of the round.
The current score is 3-2.
So at the end of regulation, I just want to have a look at the stats. So you can see that I am almost leading our team with final hits, which is pretty impressive. And I also have a significant amount of damage. And I'm actually behind on healing in this first round. And I believe, yes, I have died 6 times, and I only died 6 times this entire match, which means I've actually died all my deaths already in this match, which is pretty impressive. So we're going to overtime. Slightly concerned about that. I just forgot to set up the bubbles there again. I don't know what is wrong with me today. Oh, I didn't forget this time. Nice.
I'll be sure to remember. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we get an early pick on their Angela, which is great. Since Angela's dead, I'm going back to my spot back here, which again is good. It's really good, but not great for me to be able to counter the Angela. So we get Angela again. I'm poking up a little more aggressively because I have ult here. So I know that if I get into trouble, I can just hit my ult button. I really should be making sure my health is higher up here. I don't know why I'm not. So again, I'm inside that Moon Knight ult, which means I just go for it. Unfortunately, I missed the Emma. I was hoping her Diamond form would run out, and I didn't expect Punisher to have his ult, or his turret there. Luckily, I get out alive, and I just circle back around to my secret little spot. Unfortunately, Invis was kind of out of my range there. I was focused on main, and when she came back into range, I was reloading. I tried to hit her with some bubbles, but I missed. Very unfortunate, but it's okay. We can regroup, play safe. So I'm still trying to cancel the Angela's skewer with my boops, but unfortunately I missed that one, but I did manage to save Penny anyways. With Punisher ult, we are able to take point. Angela managed to get a touch here, but then she gets off of point, and we move on to the next round. So I'm actually going to go out the right side door here, because I'm expecting them to have an Angela again. And if they have an Angela again, I would think she's probably going to stand around here, and she's going to try and stab us straight off this point. If that happens, I want to come out this door right here, and I want to hit her with an Aqua Burst to either interrupt her flight, or, in a perfect world, knock her off of here, which I've actually done on a few occasions, but it's pretty hard to do. So you can see I'm looking down this laneway right here, looking for Angela. I do not see Angela, though. So I'm just going to get a little healing in, and then we're going to rotate back around to my usual spot. So you can see I try to go back here, but there's a wall in the way. So I'm trying to destroy the wall. But I can't really focus on the wall. So I know there's a Onk on the other side of this like cover thing, so I really can't step forward anymore, which is a little annoying. But it's okay.
The moon haunts you.
So this is a really good play by me, again, which probably secures us the win here. Again, because I'm building my ult so fast, and I'm pretty sure I've got the first ult in the game, and because we're losing this team fight anyways, I'm again going for this risky play where we've lost the team fight. Everyone on my team is basically dead. And I'm just hoping to get a couple key picks so that when we're going into the next team fight, we are at an advantage. Now, also being at our spawn door means I do not have to jump in order to secure these kills. So I'm going to get in here. I pick up Groot, Groot, Emma, and Moon Knight, which honestly is pretty lucky on the Moon Knight and the Emma, in my opinion. But I walk into here. All three of them are going to die to terrain damage. Which, when we were looking at the statistics earlier, those are the 3 missing finals, by the way. And then we can walk in here. And I'm actually going all the way around to try to cancel Portal. But unfortunately, I missed that jump right there.
This is real firepower.
And then, for some reason, I went the wrong way. And then they portaled in. So I tried to go cancel Portal, it did not work. And now we're just walking back. But because I got those key picks earlier, our team absolutely walks this point.
Final score. 3.
And that was it.
4.
That was the game. So as you can see, there were a couple of key moments in here where I really helped turn the tide around into our favor. Like right here at the end of the game where I got 3 opponents and pulled them into our spawn. And it's really unfortunate that I don't get credit for these kills here as well, which is also insane. Performance points are a terrible, terrible thing. I don't know why they're implemented, but if they're going to implement them, they should fix stuff like this. Like, I don't know why I just don't get credit for these kills. These kills objectively win us the game, essentially, and I just don't even get credit for them. They count as terrain KOs, which can be a little frustrating, to be honest. So just analyzing my ult usage this game, this first ult obviously basically won us this first point. So this is my second ult in this game, where I try to go for an aggressive play to take out the supports, and I end up missing. This is another ult where I just get 1 clean pick. 1 clean pick, I get back to point. Unfortunately, this one does not lead to a successful team fight, but pick is a pick. At the end of this round, again, I don't get the kills, but I do remove 3 people from the game for several seconds, which leads to our victory. And I think that's one of the places where Jeff really shines, is in those last second plays, either ending the game, beginning the game, or the round. On defense, I don't think I had any crazy plays on defense. I am just, I think, better at attack in general. Oh, I did have this really good moment here where I managed to get both supports. I also had the play earlier where this is where I should have had Mantis but didn't. But my healing pool on this ult was certainly helpful for coming out of the portal. And when we look at the statistics, the quote-unquote missing finals were all by me. I got 3 kills in the other team that didn't count toward my final hits. And I also got 2 deaths that didn't count toward any of the final hits by jumping off. Yeah, overall I had a lot of really successful ults this game. I had a couple of not so successful ults, but that's the nature of the game. We saw a lot of my kills were from my ultimate, but a lot of my kills were also essentially like random chip damage kills. But some of them were on me. Like I started the play that led to the death, like that Groot kill toward the end of second point. I started that kill by diving their supports. The supports weren't able to heal their Groot, and I switched up real quick into fighting the Groot, and the Groot was already low because the supports were distracted, and I got the final on the Groot. And overall, I think I played a really strong positional game. So that's how I got the Celestial as Jeff.